journey of over 1 year, 11 months. And today, where we stand is evident from the jubilant mood you were all there reported yesterday in the afternoon. I always said there are programs for every human resource related problem in the country. Governments have never failed to look at the need of 123 crore 19 lakh 184 people in this country. If you have a problem of malaria, there is a malaria eradication program. If you have a problem for drinking water, there is one flagship program, National Rural Drinking Water Mission. If you have sanitation program, there is a total sanitation campaign. You name a program,
video capture total.
There is allocation of resources. But what happens to them is the problem. We have seen villages losing shine as compared to the previous few years. Roads were better without bitumen, and with bitumen roads are non-transportable. Therefore, there was a thought, seriously, some thinking was going on. And that was the time when this concept of Bharat Nirman volunteers was thrown open for anybody to access and to work on it. In Andhra Pradesh, we looked at voluntarism, still capable of producing results. Many colleagues of me, my own batchmates in Andhra Pradesh, discouraged me and said, voluntarism kaise kaam karega? In a country where adult literacy program had failed and the functionaries in adult literacy program are now being paid an honorarium, where would you think voluntarism would succeed? Undeterred. Excuse me, please. Undeterred by such disappointing notes, we started working, not very efficiently with great hopes, but somewhere there was a star shining. And we had the promise from our own young boys and girls who were first enrolled as Bharat Nirman volunteers. And what was very important in the whole concept was from the beginning, when a training needs assessment was finalized, we looked at 2 years from now, what kind of training should be given, what are the needs of these young volunteers who would not work for anything except for self-esteem, Therefore, what kind of training should be there for them? If you are talking about morals and ethics, who should teach them morals and ethics? Not a government officer, and things like that went. And one village after another, we have a situation today. Matsya Purana says, Tailavindu Rivambhasi. It says if you have a vessel of water, and in the vessel of water, if you are dropping one drop of oil, see how quickly it spreads to all the edges of the vessel. I strongly feel that if the concept is handled carefully and with that kind of training inputs, stones can be made to dissolve. Therefore, training became important to a part. Training was for 3 continuous days for the plains people and 4 continuous days for the tribal areas, the ITD, Integrated Tribal Development Agency areas. And of course, some of the villages, even if they had started late, the results are different. I'll conclude with a short 7-minute film called 9 months back we started with a village, some work. 9 months later, what it means. But in the meantime, presentation is of no value to me, please. I have never presented, you must have seen me during the last 1.5 years we have been associating with each other. I never believed in presentations. And this is also a presentation which will not carry a very great value to me. But if you see, yes, these are the people who rewrote the history of their villages, who had Punah Pratishtha, the ones who established the image of their villagers and the ability of their village to deliver common good to the people. Once again they have established Punah Pratishtha. We believed in that last word, very interesting concept called the last mile human connectivity. The whole program is spun around that. The last mile human connectivity. What is lacking until now in any of the government flagship programs to connect to people is that one single thread. And these people have given that thread. A government officer who delivers services may be of any great quality, but still he has his own commitments. An officer who has to live in a village does not live in Andhra Pradesh. I am not talking about other states. Whatever I talk about Andhra Pradesh. Whatever good I talk, maybe about the country as a whole. Whatever bad I talk about Andhra Pradesh. This is one non-negotiable. Therefore, we looked at the government officers who are not capable of living in their headquarters. Villages में नहीं रहते हैं, mandal headquarters में नहीं रहते हैं. And there are officers who travel from district headquarters to various places. Teachers do not stay in their own villages. And what do we expect the system to deliver? Is the Commissioner of Education in Andhra Pradesh capable of suspending 10 teachers on the reason that they are not living in their headquarters, though their job chart demands that they shall be in the headquarters where the school is located? Therefore, the delivery also will become a problem. Now, where the delivery system is not capable of delivering 100%, I would agree. Maybe there is a 60% delivery, 70% delivery. But a crucial 30% is missing, and therefore, between the community and the delivery system, if there is somebody belonging to the same village who understands that he is a voluntary person capable of connecting those two links in a very friendly way, no clashes, our training teaches them that no gharshana anywhere. You are made to go and access the service if it is available, otherwise gently demand that, sir, this is available for us, why is it not being done? If you want help, we are there to you, and please take our services. It happens. That's the magic wand at the end. Therefore, we said it's the last mile human connectivity, which the then secretary has also picked it up. But there is a state level, there are some people who really slog. There are 23 persons at the state level who are all today baptized to this concept that this shall work. And therefore, these 23 officers are also the Bharat Nirman volunteers. You will find their names also in the BNB's list. Well, another good thing that has happened is we have 5 extension training centers located at 5 different levels. The faculty member from each of these ETCs, extension training centers, is kept in charge of a district, which means a faculty member of an ETC adopts one district. And therefore, anything that happens on the land-to-land issues, this one single person takes care. And Government of Andhra Pradesh had also appointed at the rate of 2 district training managers per district, and they are under the administrative control of the principals of ETCs. So, in a nutshell, there are 3 people in each district working for Bharat Nirman volunteers. 1, the ETC principal, part-time, voluntary work. The principal, as well as we have 1 principal here and a ETC extension training centers faculty member also is here. This is an extra work beyond their training job chart. Plus, there are 2 people with the principal of the ETC for each district, which means if the ETC has 5 districts, there are 10 people with the principal of ETC who are working. There are 44 such people. This is interesting. Having seen what has been happening in some of the villages, NGOs in those villages, not many NGOs are interested, please, in a selfless good work. And some of the NGOs don't want good results to come also. I am sorry to be saying this, in my experience. There are some good NGOs who came to a part saying that, sir, we would like to be a part of your endeavor. Would you please make use of these services? We are in so-and-so village, where your BNBs are also there in that village. Would you please connect us or make use of our services to, kind of manage, organize, handhold the BNBs? This was the bonus. We never expected that this would happen. It happened. And if you see, the list is very long. How many? 109 NGOs are like that. They have come and they pledged their support, and we are using all of them. The 110th man was there 2 days back for a village called Devarkadra in Mahbub Nagar district. And they said, just you give us your people to train. Resources are ours. We identify BNBs. You give your people, who will give them the training? The way that you have trained others. I think that was the second feather in Apat's winning cap. Well, how did we select those people? It's also a long story. This is available on the website, please. You may access this. And this is the structure that we have. There is a center head of the Center for Natural Resources Management. He is in charge of this program because in the apart, we don't have a center head for a lab-to-land program. We can't also have that. So there is a core committee which we constituted with 2 BNVs on the core committee. One of them is the man who spoke to you yesterday. And there are the senior resource persons, junior resource persons, 1 person, and 2 BNVs are also there. And in the PTC, in the ETC level, at the ETC level, we have the principal, senior faculty, 2 district training managers, 2 Bharat Nirman volunteers are also made. And these are the project management units. Functions are quite a few of them, and very interesting. These are all the things that normally get done also. Monitoring to enrolling to facilitation of the village development plans to etc. etc. Training needs assessment is not a one-time job. We keep revisiting that area again and again. Now there is a concept called Malayaja. Malayaja is a program for the Bharat Nirman volunteers in the 8 tribal districts of Andhra Pradesh. We have just revisited their training requirements and it keeps changing. And they also develop the information, education, communication, material and disseminate. These are all that. And now, at the district level, there are some committees formed with the district collector as the chairperson and the project director, DWMA, District Water Management Association, as a convener. There is another, Mana TV is the government dedicated television channel. Now we have a large number of Bharat Nirman volunteers. We don't know how to bring them and give them training. And this is the way the training takes place now. Through this medium. Escape. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Well, in the meantime, I'll also try and say what is holding this concept on the sustainable lines. There were certain things which were there by then in apart. There's a video conferencing facility. This is for the training, but if you interact with the CEOs of Zilla Parishad, with the collectors, with the district panchayat offices, there is another system. For this facility, I have to go to some other place. But to interact with them, there is a facility right in apart. So we fix a date, inform them on emails. On that day, they are there for 1 hour, 2 hours, etc. And we interact on the. Every 2 months, we have invariably a review meeting on the Bharat Nirman volunteers. And this is the kind of video clipping. This will be very interesting. To see how the video conferencing takes place. And there is this Thanika Palana. We bring 27,000 copies every month, not with the lab-to-lab money. And these 27,000 copies go to all the DNV villages also. The center spread of the magazine during the last, as far as I know, 6 to 7 months is dedicated for the Bharat Nirman volunteers photographs. We have some copies you may please go through. The website has from 2009 January, all the magazines are digitally uploaded. They can be accessed and can be seen. This is the Facebook. This is an amazing thing that has happened. Honestly, I don't believe in Facebooks and YouTubes. I belong to a generation which is slightly older than the average age of all the participants here. I thought Facebooks and YouTubes are more often used for different other purposes on which parents are not happy. But I now realize, as head of a small institution in Andhra Pradesh, that the power of kicking the conscience of people and to act as a catalyst of what an individual wants to do. It's called Nidranam, it's actually something which is sleeping, a good cause sleeping at the back of your mind. But if you want to really kick it up and then wake it up, these two instruments are very powerful. Today, Apart's website, anyone can access, has a YouTube, a Facebook, a Twitter, and a blog. Facebook carries something like 16 to 17,000 photographs of the Bharat Nirman volunteers and other trainees also, regular trainees, who do a small good work at their village. They come back, they post on the Facebook, this is what we have done. There is some reply, Kumar gives a reply to them, they get elated about it. These are some of the bulk SMSs we have been giving. This is the YouTube. We have, latest is 632 films are there on our YouTube, of which close to about 80 to 90 related to Bharat Nirman volunteers. There are DNVs who write to us on postcards, and invariably a postcard is replied back by a postcard. I have gone to such villages. After a postcard had gone, people preserve it so very dear to their heart. There were occasions when they brought it and shown, sir, apart se reply kariye. There is a helpline. This is the number 1800-425-7070. यहाँ से भी आप फोन कर सकते हैं. But that is in Telugu. DNVs are linked to NGOs and CBOs. वो तो बढ़िया sustainability के बारे में अच्छा काम हुआ है. Some we thought we would do, some have happened on their own. We don't take credit for that. Activity 4 is preparation of outlines of flagship program. A lot of things, This book is a very interesting book. It's called the Brick and Mortar. DNVs edifies the brick and mortar of it. Yesterday, the governor has asked for a copy and took it from Apart. Governor came to Apart yesterday. That's why I could not come. Took a copy of this when we discussed with him on this new concept. There are computer-based tutorials we developed. They are also available on all concepts. We started with the Millennium Development Goals, please. But now we have, like Colloquium D. People don't remember usually the concepts. So if you connect it to Colloquium D, we said, hence GD, health, education, nutrition, sanitation, gender, drinking water, environment, employment. We said, hence GD are the concepts on which we will be working. And the officers are able to remember them at least. lot of material, like our Jharkhand friends were showing you, there are also some small little material developed. These are all about flagship programs and frequently asked questions. Some of the achievements of the BNVs are also continue to learn from villages like this. Ravulapadu. Local media. Andhra Pradesh is very interesting. Good stories are never reported. And now local media is also into reporting it. There is one village development plan we tried to show here. What is the procedure adopted? And what are the financial resources of this Grama Panchayat? Very interesting. I am closing down. It shows how to arrive at the available resources and what are the needs, connecting those two things in the Grama Sabha. On health, what's available and what are the identified needs. Education, nutrition, the village development plan. Sanitation, drinking water, gender, environment. These are some of the accomplishments. We are going to see how the video conferencing takes place. And there is this Thanika Palana. We bring 27,000 copies every month, not with the lab-to-lab money. And these 27,000 copies go to all the DNV villages also. The center spread of the magazine during the last, as far as I know, 6 to 7 months is dedicated for the Bharat Nirman volunteers photographs. We have some copies you have to please go through. Or the website has from 2009 January, all the magazines are digitally uploaded. They can be accessed and can be seen. This is the Facebook. This is an amazing thing that has happened. Honestly, I don't believe in Facebooks and YouTubes. I belong to a generation which is slightly older than the average age of all the participants here. I thought Facebooks and YouTubes are more often used for different other purposes on which parents are not happy. But I now realize, as head of a small institution in Andhra Pradesh, that the power of kicking the conscience of people and to act as a catalyst of what an individual wants to do. It's called Nidranam, it's actually something which is sleeping, a good cause sleeping at the back of your mind. But if you want to really kick it up and then wake it up, these two instruments are very powerful. Today, Apart's website, anyone can access, has a YouTube, a Facebook, a Twitter, and a blog. Facebook carries something like 16 to 17,000 photographs of the Bharat Nirman volunteers and other trainees also, regular trainees, who do a small good work at their village. They come back, they post on the Facebook, this is what we have done. There is some reply, Kumar gives a reply to them, they get elated about it. These are some of the bulk SMSs we have been giving. This is the YouTube. We have, latest is 632 films are there on our YouTube, of which close to about 80 to 90 related to Bharat Nirman volunteers. There are BNVs who write to us on postcards, and invariably a postcard is replied back by a postcard. I have gone to such villages. After a postcard had gone, people preserve it so very dear to their heart. There were occasions when they brought it and shown, sir, apart se reply kariye aapko. There is a helpline. This is the number 180042577070. यहाँ से भी आप फोन कर सकते हैं. But that is in Telugu. DMVs are linked to NGOs and CBOs. वो तो बढ़िया सस्टेनेबिलिटी के बारे में अच्छा काम हुआ है. Some we thought we would do, some have happened on their own. We don't take credit for that. Activity 4 is preparation of outlines of flagship program. A lot of things, This book is a very interesting book. It's called the Brick and Mortar. BNB's edifies the brick and mortar of it. There are computer-based tutorials we developed. They are also available on all concepts. We started with the Millennium Development Goals, but now we have like Colloquium D. People don't remember usually the concepts. So if you connect it to Colloquium D, we said hence GD, health, education, nutrition, sanitation, gender, drinking water, environment, employment. We said hence GD are the concepts on which we will be working. And the officers are able to remember them at least. A lot of material, like our Jharkhand friends were showing you, there are also some small little material developed. These are all about flagship programs and frequently asked questions. Some of the achievements of the BNBs are also continue to learn from villages like this. Ravulpadu. Local media. Andhra Pradesh is very interesting. Good stories are never reported. And now local media is also into reporting it. There is one village development plan we tried to show here. What is the procedure adopted? And what are the financial resources of this Grama Panchayat? Very interesting. I am closing down. It shows how to arrive at the available resources and what are the needs, connecting those two things in the Grama Sabha. On health, what's available and what are the identified needs. Education, nutrition, the village development plan. Sanitation, drinking water, gender, environment. These are some of the accomplishments.